And if we ask the stars what they mean, what would they say back to us? Welcome. You want to go on a card journey today? Give me some of your time, and I'll give you some of your story. Well, let's see what the cards say. Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to Koi Plays Tarot. My name is Koi, and I'm going to be your tarot card reader for today. As a set of quick announcements, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button. That way, when uploads are made, you can see what the stars are trying to say to you. Also, if interested, individual reads are up and open. Either message or email me directly. Link is on main, and we'll set it up, okay? So, Gemini, what are we looking at in this round of reads? This is going to be your one-on-one read for the month of September. One-on-one is a style of reading that I do with person A over here, person B over here, and examining everything that's happening in between. Okay, so two major caveats is this style of reading. The first is that while it does tend to get the moniker of being a love read, given the intensity of what's going on between the two parties, it's not always lovely, right? I do not guarantee all the romantic and sunshine and butterfly feelings. If that's what you were looking for automatically with no other critique or withdrawal, this may not be the channel for you. Okay, I talk about everything on my table. Anything that shows up. That's the first. The second, it ain't always about love. Promise you. It could be a family member, friend, coworker, someone you just met, right? This is what's going on between you and that person. That's it. So as a preamble to the read, Gemini, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but don't always be so willing to reverse. At times, it even gets difficult to understand that I, as your tarot card reader, I'm not here to misguide you or mislead you. Trust me, I got 12 signs to work with every round of reads. It does not allow the time for me to lie or mislead anybody. Instead, we lay our cards out on the table. And good or bad, come rain or sunshine, we talk about it, because at the end of the day, tarot is a conversation, just an energetic one. Yeah? So follow along with me in your read today, Gemini, your one-to-one read. And yeah, let's see what the cards say. You're going to be over here. Your person's going to be over here. Show us cards that we need to see, please, for Gemini in their one-to-one read. What is happening between them and their person? Over here. For you, the Nine of Swords. Okay. What is causing your nightmares and anxieties to be flared up? On their end, the Eight of Cups, a threat of walking away. I don't know what's going on between you and them, Gemini, but it is very clear where both of you stand. I don't know what they mean to you, what kind of person they are in this relationship. Could be a friend or a partner. It's kind of a toss-up at this point, but it's very abundantly clear. You're worried about them leaving because they've shown the signs that they might be out the door. This is where you two are here and now. Okay, so now that we have two parties on the board, let's look at fronts and backs. Fronts and backs are where the things are left in the unsaid and potentially the unknown. The backs and the fronts was being most directly communicated or energetically exchanged between the parties. Show the cards that you need to see, please, between Gemini and their person. Fronts and backs at this point in the read. Because, yeah, that's a very straightforward stance of where you two are right now. Nice, but can't take. Didn't hit the table. It's a very straightforward stance of where you two sit right now between each other. And the question isn't if they're out the door, because you already sensed that. The question I'm more concerned with is the why. What's happening between Gemini and their person? Okay. Your end, Hermit, the card of Virgo. Trusting your wisdom that things can be better, that we can heal. And you're front facing the Tower. Okay. Accountability where accountability is due. We're going to hold on to this because I'm coming back to it later. On their end, Ace of Cups. Okay. I don't know what that's supposed to mean because it's almost like clashing energy towards the Tower. And their Justice, card of Libra. What is fair and equitable for me here and now? So, accountability where accountability is due, right? On your end, Gemini, you're saying that, yeah, this is my fault. Where we are right now, I need to take responsibility. This in part is my fault. And I need to take accountability where accountability is due. I like that for you. It's not a comfortable conversation at all, but it's a real one. And so you holding yourself to that task with the hermit in your backdrop, great to pull it because at this time of recording, it is during Virgo season. Hermit is a card of Virgo. You're saying, I gotta confess to all of it, and I'm not gonna be happy about it, not one bit. But the only way I can see it getting better is by saying everything that happened, right? On their end, normally the Ace of Cups is, especially in a context like this, would be the idea of renewal. The thing that I'm more worried about is that that was not the opening that they had, Gemini. The opening that they had was the Eight of Cups. It went from renewal to walking away. So what they're talking about is a full cup with or without you, right? And that's why justice is in the backdrop of, yes, even if we go through this painful experience together, even if we try to make amends, I also need to come to a level of acceptance within myself that says, and what happens if that still doesn't work out? Where does that leave us? Okay, fair enough. You said you would take everything that goes along with that tower, but the tower ultimately is designed in our best interest, even though it's considered one of the big three, spooky cards in the deck, because it provides a cataclysm of destruction, but it is meant to clear out things that is not meant to be there. Yes, too, Gemini, this could also include the bond of this relationship and whatever this person means to you, because you're taking accountability for something you're also saying you're at fault for, and good on you. I respect that very much because you do a lot of my work when you're just accountable to yourself, right? You do a lot of my work as your tarot card reader when you just say, yeah, cool, I did that. Right? Because it makes it a lot easier for me to pinpoint what's going on. On your end, though, you also say, I have to also accept that if you don't want to see me anymore, I can understand. And I think that's a harder pill to swallow. So now that we have all this on the board, show individual positions between Gemini and their person in this reading. Show what's going on. Individual position where each party stands. Show us cards we need to see, please, from Gemini in this reading. Need to see, please, with Gemini in this reading. Okay. King of Cups, showing and being the best of self. At least I was responsible enough to talk to you about it. I didn't run away this time. I didn't try to hide it. This is where it is. Okay? On their end, Nine of Cups. I'm trying to appreciate everything for where it's at, but it doesn't change what I feel right now. Right? I'm trying to hear you out, trying to hear the best of what's going on here, trying to see what we can salvage from it. But I need my time to process this because no matter how I try to slice it, the stake that I'm at right now with you, Gemini, I need my space. Right? That's just where you two stand. Is it the most comfortable thing? No, but it doesn't always have to be comfortable. It's just got to be real. Okay, underneath it all. Seven of Swords. Not everything is as it appears on the surface, right? Here, I don't think that's necessarily, harmful intent. In fact, we cleared that out with a tower. This is going to hurt regardless, right? And you were very abundantly clear about that with them. What you're looking at, Gemini, is that their reaction, how you're reacting, what's coming to the surface of a lot of things has been left in the unsaid for a very long time between you and them. I have a feeling that you've known this person for a while. And I don't know how this will turn out, at least in your opening with both party at sides, because both of you want to fix it, but there's some long-held stuff and potentially some long-held secrets that are coming to the forefront right now. And it's going to test the mettle of this relationship for you. It will. So, again, props to you. You're airing out all the dirty laundry. But what are we left to do when we still have to wash and clean up? Okay? Next, now that we have individual parties on the board, both looking at each other, one towards the other, 1-to-1, let's see what's going on down the middle. Show us cards that we need to see, please, for Gemini in this read between them and their person. What is shared down the middle? Nine of Pentacles, okay. Showing the actions of investment, okay. Three of Pentacles. At a base level, are we still friends? Is this something still worth salvaging? Can we still work on this collaboratively together? Two of Wands, what is the intentionality here? If I'm to believe that you're being truthful about this, what is the next logical step? Four of Wands, wanting a deeper relationship, wanting a bond. Okay, and last one, Ace of Swords. So this was, I was kind of teetering on it before, but yeah, let's go on spade to spade. This is a relationship that's on the brink of collapse. Got it. And what's being shared between you two is not that love isn't there, is that this unearthed secret or what's been held so long by you on your end that you're trying to hold yourself accountable for and to, you knew it was going to cause waves the moment it was said out loud. Okay? Underneath it all, Eight of Swords, 7 to the 8. The feeling of powerlessness. Well, when we feel that, the Eight of Swords, I always have to talk about when it gets pulled because that's a very particular connotation, especially in the context of this read. The Eight of Swords is almost always depicted by a person trapped in an open air cage of swords. Technically, can they climb out? Absolutely. Will it be difficult and might they hurt themselves on the way out too? Also, yes. When we put those truths together, it spells out the obvious answer. The answer that we may not like the most and we're trying to dip, duck, and dodge around is probably the one that we need to look at because it's the most obvious and direct answer that we can have, right? It gets us from point A to point B. And here to climb out of that open air cage of swords, Gemini, you're admitting a lot of things and taking accountability for what happened for something you knew would be explosive the moment it left your mouth. This is where it's at. And I don't think it's necessarily, oh, who's to blame here? It's more of a issue of, I really want you to stay, but there's no way that we can leave this unaddressed. So what are we left to do? Okay? Accountability. They always pretty, right? Last, as we move towards resolution, the final major arcana shown across the table between Gemini and their person in this read. We will start with the Hermit. This is Virgo season. What do we gain from seeing the Hermit in this read? High Priestess, yeah. You knew you had to make this right. You had to make this right. And accountability, it's something that you didn't want to have to face, but it was eating you from the inside out. To the Tower, Nine of Cups, right? This is not said in a hateful or dishonest manner. This is just where it's at. You knew this was going to hurt the moment that you said it, but it's the only way you were going to set yourself free. Okay? On their end, to Justice, Two of Swords, right? Because if it was supposed to be all equal and fair by the end, why do I feel this way? Because we're trying to rationalize emotions. We're trying to outthink our feelings. And that's why on their end, it's like, does not compute. This scratching across their forehead. This is where they are. And it's not a nice feeling. It's not a neat or even feeling, but it is a feeling. One of many that they're experiencing right now. Because you dropped a bombshell on them, Gemini. It's just where it's at. Okay, in resolution. Ace of Pentacles, a new opportunity has presented itself. Where do we do with it? Five of Wands, we have to engage in conflict. Is it fun? No. But is it necessary? Absolutely. And underneath it all, King of Swords. Interesting that you pulled all swords in your underneath, but to that 7 and that 8, the King says, no, we have the answers. We just got to do the hard part. What am I seeing in your read today, Gemini? you had to reveal some long held truths and secrets with a person, I'm assuming an intimate partner you've been connected with for a while, and you knew by taking accountability, ownership, or even mentioning it, it would be a fireball waiting to explode, right? You knew that. You've been holding on to it for a while, whereas you're trying to just be fair and open up to it in the most loving and caring way possible, but it doesn't change the amount of damage that it can do. So accountability where accountability is due, you're saying, I know this is gonna hurt, but I am trying to make things right. How do we do that now given where we are? If we're willing to accept the tower, then we're willing to do the hard part. And I do commend you for that, Gemini. That took a lot of guts because whatever you're holding on to, it was eating you from the inside out. That's all I got in your read today, Gemini. I hope this conversation helped. And yeah, you're doing the hard part here and now, and it's causing a rift here and now. The question is, what are we willing to do for repair afterwards? And can you two plan that together? I'll see you around, okay? Take care.